First story. Wife emotional affair. I'm married for 5 years, M27, F28. Since the start of marriage we faced some difficulties as my family interfered a lot and it took me time to stop it as my wife have different mentality than them. This caused a lot of problems to us and damaged her as we fought together due to other people's opinions. But wanna make it clear that I personally didn't hurt her directly. I took all the blame as it's my family, until I totally separate us from them. Years passed with ups and downs as normal marriage, then she started to change from her behavior and beliefs. She's not the same person. I managed to deal with it and accept her as she is, as people might didn't find themselves yet. All changes happened with every work she start. One is addressing of removing hair cover. My opinion about it, I don't mind. But the way she introduced it, which is I already did that, I'm just hiding it from you. I was like, okay, not anymore, but you yes OFC. I was pissed as she's hiding, but I process it. Same day. 2. Drinking. We don't drink alcohol, so because of other people influence she started, then same way she introduced, same exact way I went with her, grabbed a drink and let her promise, let's do that only together. I don't want you damaging yourself and put you in risk around coworkers or whoever with you, as I don't trust them. She agreed. 3 days later she broke the promise and came home sad and in pain from drinking, stomach pain. I hated my life. That moment took her to hospital. Took me days of fighting and trying to explain my feelings to her to process it and be fine with it. 3. For past 1.5 year our relationship is broken. We don't have any sexual relations. I was rejected hundreds of times from even hugs. Only so with her new work, new way of dressing again, things she didn't believe it was appropriate to wear, but she started wearing it again, hiding it. I figured it out from Instagram page, not her page. Took me time again to see it in her perspective as again hiding things she not honest with me. 4. Found out emotional affair with coworker by checking her laptop. And that time I was begging to fix our relationship. And she said she's trying, but same time sending that guy love massage and OFC every day she see him at work. There's no sexting or nudes was sent as far as I know. And after I called her and we had huge argument about it, I told her pack your stuff and leave. If you don't want, then you need to do everything to fix it. I'm done with putting efforts. The affair lasted 5 months and the ending reason was he being annoying apparently, as she said, not because it's wrong anyways. We already going to couple therapy. We had 2 sessions before finding the affair. She said I already told the consultant about it and was going to tell you together in the next session, which is next Thursday, but I found out by myself. We decided to break up and file divorce. She went to take a nap and I went to told her last nap and we started talking and crying. And she was it hard to let go, but I can't be reason to hurt you more and more. I can't. I'm a fuck up. I was honest and said if one wish I have, I would like die now while I'm cuddling you for the last time. When I said that I got anxiety paralysis for 2 hours, she was scared. And after I got back to reality, she said I won't leave anywhere. I'm here, don't worry. I don't know, I can't even think of things will be okay. Should I take a bullet and leave her and try to survive depression? Or I stay and hope she will fix it, because that's what I really want, but I can't trust her to do it and be pure honest with me. Based on the things happened. It's too long, sorry. Second story. New to this mess. Going through a divorce where wife seems to want the divorce yesterday. We have always had our problems and I felt like I was improving towards a resolution. I did my share of our chores, took care of our children, had a good job. Date nights and vacations were monthly and yearly. I can feel how I failed her. This is the second time she has left me, but the first where divorce was coming so fast. This time and the previous she said it was for the same reason. We would both escalate arguments and she didn't want that anymore for our children. Currently I spend my time looking up coaching on how to win her back and attempting no contact to avoid pitfalls. I want to win her back, but in reality I know this the end. I have a hard time not looking at the relationship with rose-colored glasses as a result. I don't know, I could rant more, but I do that enough as is. Update. What kind of test is this? Wife left me February 1st and moved into a leased house in a week. Since then she has found a business reason to text me every day about the kids or divorce. What was supposed to be an amicable settlement turned into what's who wanted, and now I wait on my lawyer to send her lawyer a rebuttal. Today would have been our 6-year anniversary and one again. She texts me, this time give a margarita machine to a neighbor. Sure, why not IDC? I thought I would try to pivot and also mention a movie I just saw. I don't want the divorce, so I thought why not since she initiated contact. She said okay, then asked me when my attorney would get back to me, because she pays her attorney monthly. This was then followed up with pictures of our boys bowling. Am I crazy to think this conversation should not have happened today? I understand she processed our divorce before actually letting me know, but I think this kind of weird and messed up. She did the same thing on Valentine's Day by finding a reason to talk. Update. Found out wife left me for another man. How long do affair relationships last? I don't want her back anymore after finding this information out, but is it bad that I want her first relationship out of the gate to fail? Still going through the divorce and all I hear from her is what is hers and what she bought. I feel like she is treating the relationship as a piggy bank that she is cracking open on her way out. Constant victimhood of how I make more than her, and I should be willing to give her anything she asks for. Update. Limited contact during divorce. I am currently going through a divorce with 2 and 5-year-old kids. I don't want the divorce, but it's not up to me. Wife moved out of the house and has limited contact through app where we call once a night. I feel defeated and moved to no contact, but she keeps messaging me via the app for the smallest things for the kids or sending me pictures of me holding the kids. Maybe just sharing them before she deletes them? How do I maintain no contact to get her to miss me? We are 2 months in and prob 1 month limited no contact and nothing has changed. We have events for the kids we both go to, where she initiates conversations once again, only about the kids but often. Am I crazy that she is using the kids as breadcrumbs to satisfy herself and then moving on? No idea if there was infidelity, but most lawyers think it's highly likely given the scenario. What do I do? Do I confront her at my next event, or just keep cruising as the divorce starts to come to a close in another month or two? Update. Replacement father. My wife recently left me and we are going through a divorce. I am pretty sure she cheated, but since she won't admit it, I have no clue. All of a sudden she is bringing our 5 and 2-year to sports games and is excited about sports. My fear is the app was a baseball coach, etc., and she is bringing our kids around the dude already and is going to push his personality on them. How do you guys deal with the fear of being replaced? It's eating me up and I don't understand it. How do you guys get over this fear? Update. Am I just being sensitive? Wife cheated on me and is pushing for fast divorce. It's been 2 months, and while I'm keeping the house, STBXW is now going over to the neighbor's house with the app on my weeks with the kids. Am I wrong to feel disrespected that not only did I not get a heads up, but the kids know this guy already, and could have easily saw him walk up with their mom? All the neighbors now know she cheated, and the ones she had dinner with they said nothing to me out of mutual respect for both of us. Update. Second lawsuit after divorce. Long story short, my wife is a teacher, and I am finding out the guy she left me for has kids at her school, one of which she is her student. Initially I agreed to allow our kids to go to her school, which is out of zone for us. Teachers get to do hardship forms for this. Now that I'm finding out she had an affair and is leaving me for a student's parent, it all feels so wrong. Has anyone allowed the affair fog divorce to go through to make things easy, then followed up with another lawsuit to get the school corrected? I know if I start this during the settlement agreement, things will get messy. Update. Why do we seem so rare? 50% of all marriage fail, right? I'm at a kid's birthday party, and all I see is happy married PPL. I know I'm new and may be missing the signs due to being sad myself, but fuck, I hate being surrounded by happy couples with kids. It's such a trigger knowing the ex has moved on and I'm stuck in a cycle. Update. Another day closer to divorce. Today I have to go to a school meeting for my son at the school my STBXW works at. She is trying to be friendly and asked me to go to her classroom first if I want, but why would I? My goal is to go straight to the meeting and then leave. She will not get my attention for free. I absolutely want her back, but she already has another man, most likely cheated, so I know it pointless as the marriage is over even if the paperwork isn't. What is there to do? I get nervous even looking at my phone now as I wait for more bad news from her. She has already introduced our kids to the new guy, but says it was as a friend so it doesn't count. I can't do any more confronting as at the end of the day, I know it's useless and only makes things worse. I am not a happy camper, but I am not allowed to show it on the outside. Being a man can be depressing at times, tough but unable to do anything about it. My family is gone and my boy's upbringing is each going to suffer. Divorce is made way too easy in our times. Update. Lawyers and ex-wife. Copy pasta of mine from another sub. Any advice is appreciated. Lawyers and co-parent. My co-parent and I are new to this. She left me for another man, and while I didn't want to be where we are at, here we are. Divorce was over in 3 months with her giving me 50-50 custody in a state, a county in Georgia not known for 50-50. I keep contact to a minimum and attempt to gray rock to avoid conflict. I want to state I am not perfect and I'm sure have added to issues myself. When the divorce was finalized, my co-parent had to start paying for things like daycare for her weeks and doctor appointments on a percent base. After the first set of bills, I noticed an immediate shift starting with her threatening lawyers. Due to daycare taking up 3/4 of child support, unless I paid for 3/4 of daycare costs. I said no. She threatened lawyers and child custody modification. My lawyer laughs, saying no judge would touch a divorce agreement newly signed. This was within 2 weeks. I never heard from my co-parent's lawyer. Cue my oldest son 5, who goes to therapy now, going to his therapist saying I beat him with pans. I don't even spank his bottom. Speaking to his therapist on my week. I have a boundary if she goes to her appointments, and I go to mine to once again avoid conflict, as she has randomly called the cops on me before the therapist knew my child was fibbing due to him laughing. Therapists are mandatory reporters, so I let him know I would understand if he had reported it anyway, and would welcome any investigation. Another week goes by, but this time she threatens lawyers again. Turns out tables have turned and now my son says his mother hits him. I didn't think she hits him, I just think she is coaching him to say things to get full custody of both our children. Has anyone else dealt with an aggressive co-parent who is all of a sudden not happy with the arrangement? Update. Rough day. This is my first year divorced. It was a fast divorce with the ex-wife giving up Alet so she can be with a new guy. This week and next week are our normal family vacation weeks. I didn't ask ahead of time to leave the state, so I'm a fit of rage. When she didn't get her way, my ex denied me from leaving the state with the kids. Today she gets the kids back and is going on vacation for her week, 50-50 split. I have heard all morning about vacation with mommy, and all the fun things the new guy does with my kids. Mother coached him to talk about her on my time for some reason, and I have been doing my best to let him know dad cares, and then diverting how to get over the loss of the family unit, while having it pushed in your face that the ex has essentially replaced the whole family unit and is now pushing a father figure on the kids. Why does it feel like she gets to ride off into the sunset while screaming that I abused her and she is finally free? It's not true, obviously. We just argued Alet and we're both at fault for escalating. Feeling down today, and while I know I'll get over it by working out etc., it is rough. Update. Ex-wife play mind games. I never wanted divorce. Ex-wife found a new guy and shoved it in my face. I got a limerence divorce and it was over in 3 months, maybe 4. This all started in February. I started seeing someone towards the end of the third month, and X has been kind of weird. Sometimes mad, sometimes nice, but always hot and cold. She told one of my son's therapists I was abusive. I spoke to her on the phone to ask what she said and why. It ended up being 20-minute conversation of me very sternly telling her to stop the crap. She mentioned it was because I hadn't been communicating with her. After the call, she texted via the parenting app that was thankful for the conversation. It was our first in months. I find it weird that I basically told her off for 20 minutes and she thanked me. Saturday she is extremely nice. Monday comes and she calls with her affair partner and his kids on her daily call. This is something she has never done before and is aware of my feelings on him. Why so many mind games when I just want to be left alone? Back to parallel parenting, I guess. Third story. Work trip to AP's city. Am I wrong to be upset? We are 6 years post E-Day. Generally, things are good between us and my wife has made a lot of changes for the positive. She's been no contact with the AP, who lives in a different city, same city where my WS used to live. AP was an ex of hers, and the cheating was mostly through texting and calls over the course of a couple years, but involved physical contact on a few occasions, where she and AP met up when she was in that city for business or visiting other friends. The worst incident was when she went there for a work conference. A couple months ago, she raised the issue of wanting to go to a conference for work in that same city. She's traveled for work a number of times, but to other places, and every time I feel some anxiety about it. We've talked about that and it's generally not great but not that big of a deal. But for this trip, I told her that I was going to have a lot of anxiety and negative emotions if she goes because I know that I will. I'm already having anxiety thinking about it. I don't really think she's going to reach out to AP or anything, but it's just too similar and I have an emotional response to the idea. To her credit, we talked about the trip before she booked it and she really wanted me to go with her this time. Unfortunately, I have a work conflict so I almost certainly cannot. When we talked about it, I told her I didn't like her going, that I would likely feel very anxious the entire week, etc. But I also told her that although it's not a good idea from my perspective, I can't evaluate how important it is for her job, so I'm not going to tell her she can't go. She seems to think it is super important career-wise, but it's essentially just a networking thing, so it could be if she happens to meet the right person, but it's hardly a guarantee. Anyways, I am feeling torn and uncertain about how to feel about the fact that she went ahead and booked the trip. On one hand, I could have said no and I think she would have listened. Although I'm not confident there wouldn't have been some level of resentment, which is also an issue concern. I chose not to, and it's not really fair to get mad at her for making her choice. But, on the other hand, she knew her choice was going to hurt me and cause at least a week of anxiety. So I see that choice, and I worry she is still the person that just wants to do whatever she wants to do, and is not overly considerate of how that impacts others. If the roles were reversed, there's no way I would have gone on the trip given the information I gave her. Yet, I knew she was ultimately going to pick going regardless of what I told her, short of just telling her no. I'm curious what other people think. Am I being unclear and unfair in my expectations? Or am I maybe correctly picking up on a continuing red flag? Fourth story. Girlfriend, 23F, has a guy best friend, 23M, who is in love with her and recently embarrassed me at a party. My 27M girlfriend, 23F, and I have been seeing each other for 6 months. She has a longtime guy best friend, 23M, who I will call Mike, who she has been close friends with for many years. Mike is, by all accounts, very kind to my girlfriend and has genuinely been there for her a lot over the years. However, Mike is openly in love with my girlfriend and has intermittently tried to see if she is open to a relationship, 3 times so far in their friendship, the most recent of which was just before we started seeing each other. My girlfriend says she has turned him down each time. My girlfriend acknowledges he is physically attractive, but that nothing has ever happened between them, and she has never seriously considered anything with him at any point. The friendly hangouts that Mike organizes often border on romantic, which my girlfriend acknowledges. The last one was a country drive to go see a shooting star. He made her a mixtape for the drive named after her with songs for her. He most recently suggested a trip away together for the weekend, albeit, these are while Mike didn't know my girlfriend was seeing me, which he only found out a few days ago. We have been keeping it low-key, completely at both of our requests, but after she has repeatedly made it clear she's not interested in him. My girlfriend says she trusts Mike completely, and he would never try anything or even say anything inappropriate while she is in a relationship, and she says that he never has, and now he knows we are in a relationship. That is comforting. Nevertheless, her most recent long-term boyfriend also didn't like Mike and similarly felt uncomfortable with their friendship. Mike has also told my girlfriend that he doesn't like me because of my past. I was charged with selling weed and a few other nonviolent offenses many years ago, before I got my act together. He has expressed that he is really concerned for her on account of that. I do understand this because he's from a well-to-do area and family, and that baggage of mine would be pretty concerning and alien to him. I met Mike for the first time the other night at a party my girlfriend invited me to. After I arrived, Mike told everyone at the party about my past, which alienated everyone and ended with me having to leave abruptly. Mike actually told his friend to kick me out of the party, because he felt I was dangerous on account for my past. His friend physically confronted me while Mike stood next to him and demanded I leave in front of all the guests, my girlfriend's friends. I was really getting along with everyone up until this point, and this was really embarrassing. My girlfriend confronted him quite forcefully about this after the fact, which I did appreciate, and Mike said he freaked out and was concerned for her safety, but acknowledged he did the wrong thing and apologized to her. He said it doesn't change how he feels about me, but they made up, and all is well there. My girlfriend's mom, despite having not ever met me, also doesn't approve of me because of my past. While knowing her daughter and I are seeing each other, she has invited Mike over for dinner at their house. My girlfriend acknowledges that her mom is trying to wingman her with Mike because her mom really likes him and dislikes me, but she has told her mom she isn't interested in him. I can tell Mike genuinely means a lot to my girlfriend and has been a very good friend to her for years, but I nevertheless can't help feeling quite uncomfortable with her hanging out alone with Mike. And I also feel a little bit upset that she is fully okay with him just days after he really embarrassed me in front of all her friends. It is now just 3 days after that confrontation, and my girlfriend has gone out for lunch with Mike, as he is going overseas for a month tomorrow. I'm sitting here feeling very uncomfortable and unsure how to proceed. I initially did tell my girlfriend I didn't have a problem with her seeing Mike alone even after the blow-up, and in fact encouraged her to do so, because the last thing I want to do is control her. But last night I did tell her it does make me quite uncomfortable. I'm not sure what is reasonable to ask of my girlfriend in this situation, or how to proceed, balancing my feelings with her right to be friends with whoever she would like to. What do I do? Girlfriend's guy best friend is in love with her, embarrassed me in front of all of her friends, and they continue to hang out alone. I'm uncomfortable but don't want to be controlling.